Game 5, do or die. Winner moves on, loser goes home. There's a lot at stake for the Chicago White Sox in our first postseason series of this franchise mode. Even though we've got a young group and have gotten better and better as the series has gone along, we may never get a chance like this again, given that many of our top players are entering free agency this offseason. This could be our first and only shot with this group to fight for a title, and we've got a clear pathway with the top-seeded Rangers eliminated. Last episode, we went through games 2, 3, and 4. After winning the first one, we lost the next two matchups. Our pitching was not great. Seattle really hitting the ball well. Julio Rodriguez looked like a superstar. And then the offense in game 3, they were not good enough. It's hard to be too upset with the offense because they've been so good since the start of September, but we didn't get enough in this game, bringing us to a pivotal game 4. Backs against the wall, season on the line, and the bats delivered. Lou Bob homers twice. Smith and Julks driving multiple runs. Drew Thorpe, I thought, pitched awesome. Up until the 7th inning, he was a rock star. But the Mariners, who were down big for most of this game, came all the way back. They had a chance to tie it. Julio Rodriguez was about 3 feet away from a game-tying grand slam in the 7th inning, where things could have completely fallen off the rails. But luckily, we still won the game to tie the series up, bringing us into Game 5. Taj Bradley will get the start. He, of course, has been awesome since we acquired him at the trade deadline. His first postseason start was a little rocky. He let up 3 home runs in the first inning and another one later in the game. But other than that rough opening frame, he was pretty good overall. Bryan Woo, the ace of the Mariners, will get the start. We know how good he is. He's been one of the best arms in Major League Baseball over the last few years as the winner plays against Minnesota, the number 5 seed in the ALCS. Minnesota won 83 games this year. They were not that impressive, but they beat the A's in the first round, and they took care of business against a Texas team who I thought was the clear frontrunner to make it out of the American League. The Rangers have played in the World Series 3 separate times in this series. So now the only 2 teams standing in our way of a spot in the World Series have 83 and 82 wins, respectively. But I think once we're in the MLB playoffs, team record really doesn't matter. And this is one of the very few sports where any team can win it. All you got to do is make the dance and you have a chance. And with the Twins and Mariners playing really well, we're certainly not the clear and obvious frontrunner in the American League, especially considering we're not even in the ALCS. We've got to win this game first. Game 5 at home. The South Side is rocking. Taj Bradley versus Bryan Woo, 2 of the top pitchers in the American League, both free agents at the end of the year. I mentioned this might be our only shot with this group. Guys like Taj Bradley, Bryce Miller, Luis Robert, amongst the players not under contract for next year, and with some of the big deals we've handed out to our younger stars, we're not going to be able to afford all these veterans, so there's a real shot this roster looks like a fraction of what it is right now, and because of that, we have to take advantage. This is our first chance, but it might be our only shot. As we take a look at both lineups, I'm picking the 9 guys who I think get the best chance to win is the game, and we're handing this to the right arm of Taj Bradley. He allowed 4 home runs in Game 1, a no decision that we ended up winning. Not so much because of him, but more so because the offense scored, 11 runs? They smashed the cover off the ball with 6 home runs. Remember, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa led Game 1 with a homer. Let's not do that again. Okay, good. He pops it into left field. Corey Julks is under it, and he will make the play. Taj was phenomenal in each and every one of his 11 starts in the regular season after we got him from Tampa Bay. The consistency that he's shown this year has been terrific. McMahon swinging a miss. He homered twice off of Bradley in Game 1. It's in the dirt. Teal makes the play, throws it over to first, over to Edgar Caro. That'll bring up Julio Rodriguez. His postseason average is .222, but he's been their best player in this series. Checked his swing, went around. Bradley strikes out a pair, and he retires the side in the top of the first. As we go to the bottom half of a frame, taking a look at Bryan Woo. Started in Game 1 of the Wild Card Series against the Orioles, where he threw a complete game shutout. Wasn't as great against us in Game 1 of this series, but it is worth noting the second the Mariners went to the bullpen is when our offense got hot. Kyle Teal crushes this one into center. The White Sox strike early. 436 feet, a leadoff home run for Kyle Teel, who does not normally bat leadoff. We're shifting things around in the order. I wanted to get some of our better players higher in the lineup, including Kyle Teel, who starts this game off with a solo blast to make it 1-0. That ball was absolutely crushed. Never a doubt. The second it hit his bat, everybody in the stadium knew, including Kyle Teel, that that ball was out of here with an impressive pimp job as well, featuring the bat flip. What a start for the White Sox. Cam Smith now up, hitting .500 through the first 4 games. Swings and misses at the slider. Low and outside. That was not the pitch. Champ is one number 22, strikes out the other. Luis Robert in his biggest game as a White Sox, homered twice in Game 4. That one goes up the middle, and Mundo Sosa with the play at second. He makes the throw to first. A great snag by Sosa for the second out of the inning. Edgar Quero homered 3 times in the first 2 games against Seattle as he swings and misses at the high fastball. That'll wrap up the first. Kyle Teel with a solo shot into center, his second home run of the postseason and his 29th overall, combining with the regular season. The American League's Silver Slugger at catcher puts the White Sox on top. So already we're working with a lead. Taj Bradley looking to keep things rolling here in the second as he starts with Anthony Santander, who swings and misses at the splitter. Good pitch by Bradley, who certainly is starting off a little bit better than he did in comparison to Game 1. 2 gone now for Sosa, 3-1. This one is hit into right. Smith chases after it, and he will make the play. Another 1-2-3 inning for Taj Bradley. Nothing going yet for the Seattle offense as we go into the bottom of the second. White Sox looking to keep the train rolling following the homer by Teel. Ketel Marte up with 1 away, behind 1-2. Goes down looking on the sinker. Made some big plays, though, in the couple of games in Seattle, but does not do anything there. Corey Julks has largely been the leadoff hitter. We've moved him down to 7th as he slaps this one into the gap. J-Rod after it. Does not make the play. Julks wants to head for second. Risky decision. And it backfires as he's thrown out. Never test the arm of Julio Rodriguez. I don't care if he's on the ground by the time you're rounding first. Risky decision that ultimately does not pay off. Hayate Yakishio goes down on the cutter. Good pitch by Bradley. Already at 4 punch-outs up to this point. The catcher, Harry Ford, now up. Count is full for the native of Great Britain. This one lined to third. Wagner makes the play. 9 up, 9 down. Not a bad start for Taj Bradley in his biggest game as a White Sox. Looking the part early. No base runners yet for Seattle. We'll go bottom 3. Brian Wu overall has pitched well, other than the homer by this fella, Kyle Teel, who sends this one into left looking for his second hit of the game, and he will not get it as it is caught by Santander. We've got ourselves a pitching duel. The 2 aces looking like aces. Brian Wu has only allowed 2 hits and 1 run, while Taj Bradley has been perfect through 3. Into the 4th, back to the top of the order for Seattle. Their offense looks lifeless up to this point, and overall, Seattle's hit the ball well in this series. They're in it because of their offense. As Ryan McMahon strikes out, that's 5 for Taj Bradley. Now J-Rod, count is even at 2-2, made the big defensive play back in the second off of Corey Julks. Bradley, swing and a miss on the fastball. The weird thing about Taj Bradley's dominance is before the game, actually during the last game, I turned the pitching sliders up. I've been pitching on All-Star. It felt easy, so I moved it to Hall of Fame. And Taj is pitching better? I don't know. Baseball is a weird sport, but Taj Bradley is balling up to this point. Biggest game of his season, one of the biggest games of his life, and he's been incredible. Bottom 4, 1 away. Luis Robert hits this one high and deep into right field. Back at the track, at the wall, it is gone! Luis Robert La Pantera strikes again. His 4th home run of this series, his 3rd over the last 2 games. It's one thing to be a superstar by putting up big numbers throughout the year, and Luis Robert obviously does. It's another thing to be a superstar who makes big plays in the biggest of games. Elimination game in Game 4, Lou Bob homers twice. Do or die in Game 5, Lou Bob homers again. Edgar Caro up the middle. Sosa, backhanded throw is in time. Edmundo Sosa's had some really nice defensive plays at second base, as that's the second out of the inning. Shane Schmidt hitting just 118. The lights have been a little bright for the 18-year-old rookie as he pops it into foul territory, caught by McMahon. White Sox add to the lead. Luis Robert homers again, and Chicago is up 2-0. No one else has gotten on base for us, though. We do with the one other hit, but Corey Julks was thrown out. Neither team has had anybody on base the entire game, and we're into the 5th inning. Anthony Santander swinging a miss on the cutter. Taj Bradley still looking dominant, and he is showing no signs of slowing down. This is unbelievable. Given the stakes of this game, he has been ridiculous. 3-2, Edmundo Sosa. That one is hit in the left, and finally, for the first time tonight, the Mariners have a base runner. It took them nearly 5 innings, but finally, they get somebody aboard. Given that it's been a pitching duel, but Seattle's down, they need to take advantage of this opportunity because who knows how many more base runners they're going to get the rest of the game. Yakishio grounds it to second. Ketel Marte makes the play. The perfect game and no-hitter are no more for Taj Bradley, but he is still at 5 shutout innings, and his pitch count is still relatively low, given that, he hasn't been allowing base runners. We'll go bottom 5. Marte leads it off for the White Sox. This one is slapped into right center field, and that will go for a hit. That was a great pitch by Brian Wu. A sinker on the edge of the strike zone, but Ketel Marte places it where it needs to go, and the White Sox have a lead-off runner. That'll bring up Julks. Swing and a miss on the high fastball. Good pitch by Wu for the first out of the inning, his 5th punch out. Colson Montgomery now up for Chicago. Count is full. And Montgomery gets a piece of it! This one into right! That one is out of here! 411 feet for Colson Montgomery, and the White Sox make it 4-0. What a story this guy has been. From a player who I thought was going to get DFA'd or traded at the beginning of the year, had a great spring training, was good enough during the regular season, played really well in September to secure his spot on the playoff roster. It seems like, though, whenever he's in a big spot, he has delivered. None bigger than that shot, which takes Brian Wu out of the game, and he'll be replaced by Ken Waldichuk. Even though Wu has allowed 3 homers, he's been really good otherwise. I would not have made this same decision if I was Seattle, because in Game 1, when they brought in the bullpen, that's when we brought out the floodgates. Teal pops it up into foul territory, caught by McMahon, so Waldichuk is able to get the 2 outs, but not before Colson Montgomery sends one into the seats, and we move into the 6th. Montez over to first. Caro sends it to Bradley. Good defense. I feel like Caro should have just run it over to the base. But a good scoop, nonetheless, by the young first baseman. That will bring up the number 9 hitter, Harry Ford. Behind in the count, 1-2. Bradley looking for another strikeout. Swinging a miss on the 12-6 curve. That pitch has been unhittable today. Taj Bradley has been fooling these Seattle batters with that 12-6 pitch consistently going in the dirt. 2-2 for IKF. Swinging a miss on the cutter. Another punch out for Taj Bradley. A legacy performance for the righty as it remains 4-0. 2, 3, 4 hitters due up. That's a pretty good group. Smith, Lou Bob, and Caro. Cam Smith up the middle. Sosa again. That's like the 3rd ridiculous play he's made tonight. Not to mention he's the only player on the Mariners who's gotten on base. None of their other position players have shown up, but at least Sosa has. Luis Robert homered earlier into right, looks to do it again. At the track, at the wall, it is caught by Lazaro Montez. That was a close call. I thought that had a chance to go over. If Lou Bob had back-to-back multi-homer games, I would have handed him a blank check right there. As Edgar Caro puts it on the ground, McMahon makes the play. That'll wrap up the 6th. 3 more innings, guys. Let's hang on. We've got the lead, but this game's not over. The Mariners' offense has shown the ability to score in spurts. They did it in the 1st inning of Game 1. They did it in the 7th inning of Game 4. We were up by more than 4, and they were literally feet away from tying the game at one point. Another strikeout there for Taj Bradley. He's up to 10 as he gets McMahon. Julio Rodriguez 3-2. J-Rod down the line and fair. Wagner cannot make the play, and it will roll to the wall. J-Rod waltzes into second base with a double. The Mariners had their fastest base runner in scoring position for the heart of the order. They've got to score here. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Santander hits it high into right. Smith is under it. He'll make the play. J-Rod over to third. Cam Smith with a bullet perfectly on target. But J-Rod is safe. 90 feet away from home. But they're going to need a base hit to score him. It's Tyler Locklear, who's played really well against the White Sox throughout the course of this season. Base hit up the middle. Mariners on the board. An RBI single for Locklear. The shutout has gone bye-bye, and that'll make it 4-1. Big hit for Locklear. Now that'll bring up Edmundo Sosa, who's been Seattle's best player today. Ahead 3-1. Pops it into shallow center. Lubob's going to have to hustle to get to this one, and he will. Seattle gets a run, but they still have a lot of work to do, trailing by 3. They need their bullpen to be pretty much flawless the rest of the way, and their offense is going to have to get hot. Shintaro Fujinami is in for Seattle here in the bottom of the 7th, as he will start off with the former Mariner, Ketel Marte. 3-2, one away. Got him looking. Neither team has drawn a walk in this game. I don't think there have been that many bad at-bats. It's just that both pitching staffs have kept pretty much everything in the strike zone. 1-1 for Julks. Pops it high in the air and will not make it out of the infield as Edmundo Sosa will make the play. 7 down, 2 to go. White Sox up by 3. Taj Bradley will stay in the 8th. He started to show some signs of slowing down there in the 7th, but I'd love to get one more inning out of him. He's been so good tonight. Yakashio rips this one into right. That ball will go off the top of the wall. Smith misplays it, and Yakashio is into second with a double. We went into this inning giving Taj Bradley a 1 base runner leash. He allows the 1 runner, so unfortunately we're going to have to take him out of the game. In his biggest start as a White Sox, Taj Bradley was awesome. 7 innings, 1 earned run allowed so far. That could go up to 2, as he will be replaced by the lefty, John King. The goal is that King gets us through the 8th. They've got a couple lefties due up, and then hopefully Ezra Valenzuela pitches the 9th, although Ezra in big games has not shown to be a big game player. Montez to short. Montgomery makes the throw. Runner does advance to third, however, so they do have a man 90 feet away from home with only 1 away. Big at-bat upcoming for the catcher, Harry Ford. In an ideal world, if Seattle can get 2, they can really put themselves back into the game. Into left. Julks cannot make the play. Well, there's 1. Ford to second. Bad throw by Julks. It's not even close. And the Mariners are within 2, as it's now 4-2. And all of a sudden, we've got ourselves a ball game. Seattle is right back in it. Kiner Falefa 2-2. Swinging a miss in the dirt on the circle change. Great pitch by John King. And now we get to probably the most pivotal at bat of the game so far. It's Ryan McMahon. The 1-1. McMahon into right field. That one will go over the glove of Smith. Another run scores. McMahon to second base. Seattle has the lead within 1. The tying run at second base. And their best offensive player up to bat. Jorge Mateo comes in as a pinch runner. And we're going to take John King out immediately. His pitching clutch rating is 30. No. I would rather roll with Tony Santillan, whose pitching clutch rating is in the 80s or 90s. Santillan is our high-leverage guy. I believe in him to get us out of this inning. Base hit would tie it for Seattle, and our 4-0 lead would fully evaporate. And J-Rod pops it up. Montgomery is under it, and he will make the play. On one hand, that was not a good inning. Seattle scored 2 runs, and they're back in the game. But on the other hand, certainly a major sigh of relief that they did not tie the game. Colin Snyder's in here in the bottom of the 8th. We have not gotten a base runner since they took Brian Wu out of the game. The last guy to reach was the homer by Montgomery back in the 5th. He leads things off here in the 8th, and he hits this ball high and deep into right center. Okay, maybe not that deep. It looked better off the bat. but it's caught by Montez for the first out. The fact that our offense has been extinct for 3 innings and they're starting to come alive is certainly not a good thing, as that ball bounces foul. We nearly had our first base runner since the 5th, but Barney Wagner's not able to get that one to drop. He's now behind 1-2. This one is sent fairly well into center, but J-Rod is under it. He'll make the play. That'll bring up Kyle Teal. Hasn't done anything since the homer back in the first inning. I do not feel comfortable with a 1-run lead, given that Seattle has scored in each of the last 2 innings. Teal pops this one into left. Santander is under it. He will make the play. Through 8, the White Sox lead by just 1. 4-3, going into the 9th. I know Ezra Valenzuela has struggled in big games, really since the start of September, but he's one of the best closers in baseball. We've got to trust him to finish this game. Ezra's postseason debut came in Game 1, where he almost blew it. Looked a little better in Game 4, getting the save. We want our best defensive players in the game, so Braden Montgomery enters. He'll play left, replacing Corey Julks, who slides over to third, replacing Barney Wagner, who's now out of the game. Santander goes down on the curveball. There's 1, but we still need 2 more. Cannot let anyone get on base. Tyler Locklear, 1-2. This one is hit up the middle. Marte blocks it. And there will be no throw to first. An infield single for Locklear. And the tying run is aboard for Seattle. Edmundo Sosa, the 1-1. Base hit into right. Tying runs in scoring position. Go-ahead run is aboard. And already Ezra is not looking good early. We're going to stick by him, however. Hayate Yoshihiko is up for Seattle. 1-1. Wow, what a pitch. Curveball right on the edge of the zone as it gets called for strike 2. The biggest at-bat in Ezra's life. The 1-2. Swing and a miss! Cutter up and in. Ezra bullied him those last 2 pitches. He looked poised and confident. Those pitches went exactly where he wanted them to as it comes down to Lazaro Montez. First and second, 2 away. 1-run game as Montez fouls it off and Seattle's down to their last strike. As a kid, this is exactly what you dream for, whether you're the batter, the pitcher, or everybody in the field. Sometimes all it takes is 1 moment. Swing and a miss! Montez goes down on the cutter and the White Sox have won it. 4-3 in a thrilling Game 5. A game that we almost completely blew. We were up 4-0 through 5. Did not get a base runner after Seattle brought in the bullpen. And it got a little rocky. Seattle scored in the 7th. They got 2 in the 8th. They added 2 more base runners in the 9th. But Ezra Valenzuela, that inside cutter, his go-to pitch, gets the final 2 strikeouts of the game to send the White Sox to the ALCS. Our offense did not play well. Yes, we had 3 homers, Teal, Lubob, and Montgomery. We only had 2 base runners the rest of the game. The reason why we won was Taj Bradley. He was terrific. 7 innings, 4 hits, 0 walks, 10 strikeouts, 2 earned runs. Bullpen made it a little close. I give Seattle's offense credit. They looked completely rejuvenated those last few innings. Brian Wu was not horrible. I mean, he didn't let guys on base. He just allowed 3 homers. But their bullpen, nails. Nonetheless, we're able to hold on by the skin of our teeth to win the game and move on to the ALCS, where we will play against our division rival, the Minnesota Twins. Says a lot about the AL Central that we've got the 2 finalists for the American League pennant. It's been a dogfight in the AL Central all year, but really Minnesota's been the team that I was always most threatened by since the 2nd or 3rd week of the year back in April. We won the division by 9 games, but throughout the course of the year, it was neck and neck up until our big month of September. I was a little surprised that the Twins got here, but they are 5-2 in the postseason so far against 2 really good teams with the A's and the Rangers. Carlos Correa might have more postseason experience than anyone in the league. James Wood, their superstar, who they got at the trade deadline, he's been good. Emmanuel Rodriguez is 12 for 24 in the playoffs with 3 homers. The young guys have really come alive, and they've got a good group pitching-wise. Logan Gilbert, Bailey Ober, Zebby Matthews, David Pesta is solid. Their bullpen is quite good. TJ Antoine is one of the more underrated closers in baseball. We played against them 4 times. They took 2 of 3 in April on the road. We took 2 of 3 at home in May, but they outscored us in that series by 6 runs. In August, we took 2 out of 3 with a couple blowouts, and then in September on the road, we swept them. And that was, of course, during the heat of our main winning streak. So next episode, we're finally going to get to see the new postseason format. The goal for the ALDS was not to have it within 3 episodes. I wanted to have it within 2. But we're finally going to get through a lot of games in the next episode. I think the plan is Game 1, we're going to play in full. And then depending on how the next few games go, we're going to be either through Game 3 or possibly Game 4. So we're going to really get through the first half of the series in the next episode, which should be a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Peace out.